Yo, 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 what's up, and welcome aboard Cardboard Sim. Man, seems like it's been forever since I've been flying, huh? The time has come, Gabriel. Yes. Yes, it has. Uh, got a lot to unpack on this flight tonight. So sit back and enjoy. Actually, let me do something real quick. Let's get some tunes going. Yes, yes, yes. Also, I forgot to load in my guy here. Where are you loading in at? There you go. I had forgot all of a sudden. Guess I'll get loaded in here. Maybe somebody will pop in. I do not know, but we're gonna take it from there. Okay. So, how's everybody doing? Hopefully, all is well. Oh, that's what's up, Gabriel. Let me see if I can. I don't have my phone holder installed on my panel yet because my panel is not quite complete. So let me see. Gotta figure out. See, maybe will it stay right here? Maybe it'll stay right there for the flight. Okay. So let's get this thing cranked up real quick. I don't even know where my checklist is at. So tonight is just a test flight. I'm just gonna work with what I got for now. So y'all bear with me on this. It's been a while, so my sequence of events is all over the place right now. So while I finish getting myself set up, how's everybody doing? Let me know in the chat how things going. How's the bills going? How are the plans going? How's life treating you? All that good stuff. For me, things have been on the up and up. Work has picked up dramatically. So I've been wide open, man. No days off, just running, getting everybody caught up to speed and all that good stuff. Okay, so enough yip yap. Let's get this thing cranked up here. So I'll go ahead and get camera turned around here so you can see what the panel looks like. Like I said, it is temp installed, so let's kind of slide out the way. So as you can see, I got 7 gauges here. You can't see, you might not be, no, you can't see, but I have an annunciator panel right here, and I also have a yaw damper button here that does light up when I press it. I gotta finish, like I said, this is still a work in progress, so I gotta bring up the glare shield because it's sagging, so I gotta adjust this and some other things. But let's get this thing going, shall we? So I'll turn the lights off there. Power is coming on now. I've done I tweaked some settings in my dimmer settings. Oh, let me bring that camera down just a tad here. See how that works. Looks a little high. So before, when I turned on my dimmer lights, on my dimmer switches, once they came on, they wouldn't go off. But then that started getting on my nerves. So I tweaked the setting, so now I can control both lights. So there's one. And go ahead and run through the steps real quick. So that's all the way bright. That's the panel light. And then I can bring that all the way back down. And if I keep going, it goes off. And then the same thing with the gauge lightings. Go all the way bright. And they get real bright. And then we dial them back. And turn that on, and it's kind of what it'll look like for the most part when I'm flying. So 2 separate light systems running off of 2 different rotary encoders. So that's how it works. How long did it take you to make the instruments? We'll talk about that once we get airborne. So let's get this thing cranked up. Gears down, brakes are set, we are on the fullest tank. Flaps up, cowl flaps are open. Beacon, nav lights, let's get those going, and let's get it cranked up. Got air going. Okay, first notch of flaps. I don't even have my radio, my tablet on the yoke. Like I said, I am in a work in progress, but it's been long overdue and I wanted to get back in the air. So all right, let's get this thing rolling. So as of now, I only got a couple gauges working. They all work, but let's get some strobes going too. Like I said, we'll talk about all that once we get airborne. So where are we at? I guess let me get turned around here. Oh, my nose. How's everybody doing with this pollen, man? This mess got me all kind of messed up. If y'all have bad allergies with this pollen and y'all don't know, get some Zyrtec D. That stuff will clean you out quick. But you gotta get it. You can't get it off the shelf. You gotta get it from behind the counter. So you're gonna have to have your where's a wind socket? Cause I don't wait. Well, winds are crosswind, so we can depart from 2-2. You're gonna have to have your some type of identification to get it, because it's a Zyrtec D, which is a decongestant. So because it's that, you have to show identification so people don't think you're out there popping pills, all that good stuff. All right, so I still got some work to do. I had the sim running pretty good, but like I said, we got a lot to uncover. So we are clear, final, and clear down the runway. Let's get her trimmed out here. All right. And let's power set. Airspeed is coming alive, looking good. Looking for 70. There it is. Positive rate. Gear is coming up. Yo, Sauce, what it do, my man? How that flight coming? Flaps coming up. Taxi lights is coming off. We climbing out. That's good. Like to hear that. Alright, and we'll go ahead. Woo, that's a long flight right there. Go ahead and roll on out here. And altimeter is working pretty good. Let's see. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. Maybe. It might. Let me bring the light up a little bit. Maybe y'all can see it moving. Nope. There she went. So this is the problem that I've been having. And I've been trying to figure it out. I know it's a power issue, but for some odd reason, every once in a while, it'll kick out. Now, I don't have all the gauges running. Yeah, Gabriel, I do have autopilot. It is down at the moment. I knocked the wire out in the back, and unfortunately, with the prop wash simulation autopilot, the power wire connector is very finicky. So you touch it the wrong way, it just dismantles itself. So I plan on either purchasing something better or just creating my own autopilot, because I'm not about to keep dealing with that. So as of now, I don't really have no autopilot, so I'll be hand flying this most of the time. So let me get back to what you were saying here. How long did it take me to make the instruments? So from start to finish, it probably took me about, I would say, about a week. I mean, but that's in between work and stuff like that. But I would say it probably took me about a week to print all this stuff. And then, you know, I've been working on it since last week, putting it all together and getting it configured and all that. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. The gauge lighting looks sick. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, the lighting is awesome, man. And I'm not done with all the gauges. So this iPad is gonna come out, and the autopilot is gonna be moved down here below the 650. So I'll be doing the manifold, pressure and fuel gauge, or fuel flow, and then RPM gauge. So there'll be two big ones like these, and then down here will be like a block with 4 small gauges that does like your fuel or your oil temps and pressure and all that. And then there'll be 4 more small gauges that'll do like my fuel gauge, my left and right tanks, and some other information down here. So I'm working on getting those together so I can start getting those printed out. And the whole reason why it just kicked completely out. See, this is the problem I've been having, and I think it's a power issue. There's too much going on, and the Arduinos can't handle it. So I gotta transfer my power from the Arduino and put everything on its own power source, because this is what happens. Things start disconnecting, and then it starts doing this funny stuff, and then I have to crank it back up because it loses power. So that's one of the quirks right now. I mean, it's a simple fix. Just testing things out for the time being. So yeah, that's what's going on. You're doing a world tour. Enjoy that, man. That's the long ride. Well, you know, hand flying is not too bad once you learn how to trim your aircraft out. It actually does pretty good. I mean, because the autopilot with his world. Oh, okay. I got you now. That makes sense. Setup is looking insane, man. Appreciate that, Sauce. How difficult is the program and the software side of things? It's not too bad. I got everything running through mobiflight, so it's once you have an understanding of how mobiflight works, you're pretty much good to go. But I mean, it's not hard. It's not like a snatch your hair out your forehead, you know. It probably would be, you know, if it was, you know, if you're new to it, but it's not hard at all. Hey, Kaz, how's it going? Trial and error. That's yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, I know it's been long overdue. I'm a week behind schedule on what I said I wanted to be, where I wanted to be. But like any project, especially something this massive, you know, I didn't really take all that in consideration. So, like I say, even though it's not complete, I mean, it was just time for me to get back in the air and start hanging out with y'all again. And, you know, just kind of give y'all an update of how things been going and what the sim looks like and with the new gauges and all of that good stuff. So she's almost there, not quite complete, but almost. Hey Nate, how's it going? Yeah, so here's the problem. So all the gauges do work. They're all hooked up. The problem that I'm having right now is even though everything is 5 volt, you know, 5 volts, it's too demanding on an Arduino to run that. It's too much information at one time. So what happens is the Arduino's like, you know what, I'm not about to deal with all this, and it just kicks itself out, right? So what I'm about to do is and I'll probably do it after the stream tonight. I gotta put a 5 volt. I'm gonna buy a 5 volt power supply, and I'm gonna run all the 5 volts, you know, to them. So that way the Arduino, all it has to do is just concentrate on sending information versus trying to power and send. So when I first started the flight, I had my airspeed, my turn coordinator, and I had my altimeter or my altitude gauge up and running. And then just shoot 5 minutes into the flight, it dropped the signal again. So I'm just pretty much flying right now. I'm blind, but it was made, you know, at least you can kind of see what it looks like in the sim. And like I was showing everyone before, so for those who didn't catch me at the beginning, I'll show you. So I tweaked my dimmer settings so that now I could turn them all the way off and all the way on. So I have 2 dimmer switches controlling, one to control the panel, one control the gauges. So this one's the panel. As you can see, it's getting nice and bright. And then I can turn that all the way down and it goes off. And then this is my gauge backlighting. You can turn this all the way up, right? And then I can turn this all the way down until it is completely off. So that's pretty cool. I got all that working. So yeah, it's just really, it's a power issue right now. So once I get that power supply, I should be able to get everything turned on. They're all set up. They're all wired. They're all configured in the mobiflight. So we should be good to go once that comes in. No, Kaz, I'm telling you, man, I've been working till like 3, 4 in the morning, man, trying to get it done because I want to get over to 24. I'm almost there. What I might do tomorrow, I might fly in 24 tomorrow. That's what I might do. I might do a intro to, see, she just cut out again. This is the problem that I'm talking about. So I have to keep resetting. And the crazy thing is, and then when it resets it, I gotta crank her back up and do all this crazy stuff. So y'all get to see what I'm dealing with. Yeah, I appreciate that, Cass. Yeah, I mean, it definitely add some more realism to it. And like I said, once I get the other gauges, all those gauges will be backlit as well. So all this, it's gonna look nice for sure when it's all said and done. I know my time is I know what I said, Cass. Man, I didn't expect this project to take this long. You know, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I print the panels out, stepper motors, you know, get them all wired and configured. I'm up and nah, it's a daunting task. But nonetheless, we are sneaking up on being done. So, like I said, I'll tomorrow I will don't do that to me. Don't you do that to me. Nah. Let me see something real quick, cause I don't think.
Man, it's so beautiful over at 24, and to see you fly the V over there and get to fly with the V with you again is really awesome.
Yeah, man, I'm working on it. Like I said, I mean, what I might end up doing tomorrow is I might just fly. I might just do a flight in 24, just because, you know, just kind of like I said, do a intro, you know, sneak peek of what the sim is going to be like when it's all said and done with 2024.
Man, please. I've been flying every night with a group, a huge group every night, but I would definitely love to either have you join up with that or us just do a nice V flight somewhere, man. Seriously.
Yeah, man. We can set that up for tomorrow if you like. And we just kind of hang out in 24 and see how things go.
Yeah, I see you doing a whole bunch. You know, I do have a question for you. And I realized that the putting the gauges and all that stuff together. Would it be something you would ever consider switching over to, like, say, tablets for everything, and then making the template on top of the tablets after you got the gauges established on there with the switches, and, you know, a lot of things wouldn't have the actual switch maybe, but maybe push switch?
Well, that's what I was doing originally. So I was running an iPad Pro to throw my 6-pack. And I had encoders, you know, on the panel to, you know, work my altimeter and heading bug and all that.
Yeah, with Sim Dashboard, you know, you can have that server on your computer, and then any tablet, I mean, you could buy. I have an 18 in front of me now. You know, I keep a couple of those smaller ones than that. But yeah, all that stuff, I was just thinking, if, you know, I want to put these permanently where they're at right now. So I was thinking about doing the 6-pack like you're talking about on the dashboard, and then building a template. Maybe out of cardboard even over the top of it to give it that look, you know.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. I mean, that's definitely a
I didn't know if you would consider it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, anything to bring a little bit more realism to your setup, man, is always a goal for me. And I mean, just a little, you know, a little panel to go over that, you know, to set in front of you, man, it makes a huge difference in the immersion.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, just building the dashboard and all that, that's what I was kind of referring to. But yeah, man, it's awesome. You and Seth there just killing it. It looks really good. I like it.
I appreciate it, man.
Your panel lights, really, when you did that, they come across on the screen really good. I like it. You know, that's one of the things, a couple guys I fly with, they just don't like to fly at night or dusk like that, you know, where you need those kind of lights a little bit. And I love that look.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It looks real good. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna change the time in the sim so y'all can see what it looks like at nighttime. Hold on, let me make sure I ain't around nothing crazy. Gabriel, how many people fly on the Discord have 24? Not many people, Gabriel. That's one of the. That's gonna be a situation where
I just wanted to touch base with you here a few moments, but.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that, Cass.
I'm heading to bed from work in the morning, man. You have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow, man. Hopefully we can get together. There's no pressure at all if it can't happen, and I'm hoping we can. It'll be great.
Yes, sir. Hopefully all goes well. We'll be flying in 24 together and do a V flight.
All right, brother. You have a great night. See you guys.
You too, man. I don't think a lot of people have 24 in the Discord. So this is something that it's going to be a challenge because I'm going to have to set my streams up during the week to accommodate everybody. I'm not leaving 2020, so I want to put that out there. I'm still going to be flying 2020 as well, just because I know that, you know, there's still a lot of guys who only fly 2020, and I enjoy flying with them. So I'm gonna have to sit down when I actually get everything up and running and all that good stuff and figure out how I'm gonna go about doing my streams throughout the night so that, you know, I can fly with the guys that do 2020, I can fly with the guys doing 2024, and, you know, then I can maybe do a night flight where, you know, it's just me and rocking SayIntentions since I'm paying for it, you know, still want to use it. So, you know, all that'll get cleaned up as time move on. Hey, Seth, how's it going? How you doing, man? Oh, you been there before, Gabriel? I used to live there, man. I used to, I lived in Carlisle for 2 years. You don't... We'll set one up, Sauce. That's easy. That's where you did your first cross. Oh, that's cool, man. As of now, I don't think that 2020 and 2024 mixed. I think the only way to do that is if we did it on the vatsim network. Now, I know SayIntentions have come out with a thing called Skynet now, but not everybody does Skynet either. So it would be nice if they was able to incorporate 2020 and 2024 in a multiplayer situation, but I don't think that that works right now. Yeah, that's crazy, Gabriel. All right, so real quick, let's see, I got some open space here, so I'm gonna turn the time zone to nighttime so you can see what the panels look like at night. Let me turn those off, and I think if I turn real time on, it might be dark. Yep. All right, so this is what the sim looks like without no panel lights, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and turn the gauges on so you can see what that looks like. And that is the gauges at its lowest dimmable setting, and then I can slowly bring it in. And I mean, these things get really bright. Now, one thing I didn't take into consideration when I was building this panel is I bought a white board, and I should have bought a black one because you can see how it kind of bleeds through around the gauge. But I mean, that's, you know, that's something minor. But that's what that looks like.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. And then if I turn the panel light on with it, then this is what it looks like at nighttime with the gauge and the panel. And I can turn that up a little bit, just for that to kind of be a little stronger there. Appreciate it, Cass. Thanks, Nate. Well, that's the crazy thing, Gabriel. I spray painted it that tan color to kind of match what the real Bonanza looks like. But even with that, you know, it's though, because that's a lot of LED going through the back there. So yeah, and if I turn the lights all the way up, I mean, you can just see, like, man, it just gets like, it is it is crazy bright, you know, with everything turned all the way up. And then, you know, you turn those on, It's crazy. It's a lot of light going on in here. So I'm very happy with how things have turned out with the panel lighting. So that's cool. That's cool. So I'll go ahead and turn these back down.
Are you using a V-shade?
I am not. Appreciate it, Cass.
Well,
so
looks good.
thank you, man. Appreciate you. So I got everything on max settings. So I'm sliders, full tilt, ultra settings, everything. The only thing that I don't have turned up is shadows. I got all my shadows turned down because they're definitely a frame hogger. No. So the LEDs that's under the panel, they are RGB, but I got them wired to just be that color. And then the gauge lighting are just white lighting. And see, there it goes again. So like I said, it's a little buggy right now, but the proof of concept is there. You guys can see it. The lights do work. The gauges do work once I give them some better power. All right. I know. So, yeah. So that's that. I will say, man, it is pretty cool to see all the gauges work. I did have, at one point when I put it on a full load just to test it, and I was able to get about 5 minutes on a test flight around the circuit, and to see all the gauges moving, man, it turned out real good. The only one that, well, I'm still working on my VOR or my CDI gauge. I'm still getting those needles dialed in. I haven't done an IFR approach with them to, to get them to line up to connect with the glide slope. So they do have power, they do move. I just gotta do a little bit more configuration in it. So the lights up top, there's a switch because they're motion censored to turn off and on, and I can change. They don't change colors, but well, the switches are up here, and I had it set up because I don't feel like changing them. I kind of like this color because I can actually dim the lights up here as well by just holding my hand, so they dim. But I could change it to like a different tone, I guess you can say. Now, if you go back to some of my older videos before I did the sim annual, the lights that are in here are actually the lights that used to sit up here, and I just had them kind of tucked, between the ceiling and the panel. And so when I did the sim annual, I decided to make it a little bit more, neat. And so when I had the panel down, I was looking, I'm like, oh, well, this might work. And so then I just took, the wood grain panel that I use for the panel, and I just kind of cut me out some pieces here and just kind of got it trimmed up. So now I got, wood grain up here, and, just trying to liven up the sim a little bit. But you can, I mean, if you wanted to, you could buy lights that would change different colors if you wanted to. Am I still thinking a CPU upgrade? I mean, a GPU upgrade? Yes, I am. For two reasons. So as I've been working with the 4080 Super, and pushing it to its max, and then with the NVIDIA app, with the GPU overclock setting, and the frame gen, and I mean, she does amazing, right? I'm not gonna sit here and say that the 4080 Super is not strong enough, but what I will say is the it's at its limit. Like I put it to you this way: with the Orbit Samsung New York City scenery added along with the LaGuardia airport package with max settings and everything running, it's too much. Like once I get airborne, you know, things kind of calm down. Thing kicked out on me again. I have to keep doing this for the flight, but that's all right. It is what it is. Once I get airborne, you know, she does all right. You know, she kind of smooths out. So I'm thinking that the little bit of the issue that I am having is just it's strong enough, but it's not strong enough because I want you just gonna keep kicking out. It is what it is. It's strong enough, but it's just like it's not enough. I mean, it's enough, but it's not. And like I said, I want, after flying and seeing what the sim looks like with maxed out settings and maxed out sliders and all that stuff, I can't see myself going back. Like, even when I dial back the settings, you know, for like streaming purposes and things like that, it bugs the mess out of me because I know what the sim actually looks like, and I want to show that, you know, to the audience as well. So by losing, you know, those graphics and the detail, man, it hurts my soul. So so that's one reason I want to. Is that a, oh snap, that's crazy. That look, I'm gonna go over there real quick. I think I'm gonna fly right over it. So over here on this mountain, I'm gonna see if I can get closer. They actually have that looks like turkeys. I mean, this is Cyprus. No, so that'll be a Cyprus. They have their thingy. Here, I'll just turn all the way. They got like their flag and stuff embedded into the side of this mountain here. That's pretty cool. Let me come down a little bit so y'all can see it. But yeah, so for one reason is I want to keep my high level of detail.
I've seen it.
Oh, you see it? No.
No, I've flown over there before.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, that's pretty cool right there. So for that reason, I want to do an upgrade. The second reason that I would want oh, I gotta get this turned back on again because I don't have no trim. That's why I'm fighting this thing. She's probably done got hot. Oh, Lord Jesus. Probably got hot. That's why she keeps kicking out. Come on, pull up, pull up.
Pull up. Pull up.
Jesus.
Pull
Okay.
up. Pull up.
I pulled up. I know, I'm sorry.
Sync rate.
Yeah, that is Turkey. That is Turkey's flag.
Damn, that was scary.
Yeah, that was about to be a bad situation. That's what I'm saying. I got to get that fixed. So, you know, it's the bugs that, you know, it just comes with the territory. Yeah, that's pretty cool right there. I've actually been here to Cyprus, and I've been to Turkey. But yeah, so like I said, you know, for one reason I want to keep my high level of settings, and for two, I just think that by having an upgrade GPU will level the playing field with the CPU. I mean, the 4080 Super is doing fine, but it's just like it's right there, but it's not, you know. So a GPU upgrade is in progress for the future. I don't know when we get it. It'll be sometime this year. And I don't know. One side of me says go ahead and get the 5090. Other side of me just says just go and trade my 4080 Super in and get me a 4090 at that dude's place. That's about 2 hours from me. And then just pay the difference. So, and I think right now, last time I checked with his numbers, I would probably only have to come out of pocket maybe like $500. So, I'd rather spend $500 and get a 40. I think a 4090 would get me where I need to be. I would like a 5090, but I know I just can't. I can't justify that money. Not right now. I just can't do it. Hey Glenn, how's it going? As of now, I will be, well, according to Microsoft, I am bottlenecking at my GPU. But that's only because I'm destroying it right now. Oh, let me do some turning here. But you know, well, Glenn, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If I am going to do an upgrade, I'm gonna do I'll say this: I would much rather have a 4090 over a 5080. And the reason why I would rather go with a 4090 than a 5080, this is how Nvidia does their stuff, man, and it bothers it's like one of those things, man. It's like I'm gonna give you enough to where it's like it's above, you know, like the 50s, 70s and stuff like that, you know. Or I could give you a 5090 and give you the complete package, but you're gonna pay for it. And the 5080 is like that. It's like if you're gonna spend the money on the 5080, you might as well go ahead and get the 5090. The 5080 has been having nothing but problems anyway. I've heard from reading through forums and watching YouTube videos that a lot of people are disgusted at the performance of what the 5080 does. They're pretty much saying it's well, I'll from what I'm understanding is the 5080 is like a smidge behind the 4090. I don't know. I really think a 4090 would put me right where I need to be. I mean, a 5090 would definitely be the greatest option. But then I sit here and think to myself, like, when will the sim ever need 32 gigs of VRAM? You know, I mean, I think 24 is more than enough headroom. And the bit rate is faster on a 4090 over a 5080, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that to a degree. Yeah, ray tracing is, well, from what they say, I guess you can say. Yeah, that's the thing. Says like I like my bed. I like my bed. You know, I feel like I can get away with. A 4090 on a trade-in and still have my slot available in bed at night. I think I'm gonna do a touch and go right here. I'm gonna come down. Oh, and just so by the way, if y'all haven't flown out here in Cyprus, man, y'all should, man. It's very nice out here. Appreciate it, Jack.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there.
Yeah, man, this is nice out here. The panel does work. It's just not working because mobiflight keeps kicking out due to power issues, and I think it's because it just keeps getting too hot. There we go. It gets turned off. I gotta turn it back on. There we go. Turn those on there. Gears coming down. First notch flaps. Yeah, I think I'd rather I might just go with a 4090 and call it a day. I think the 4090 will just be exactly what I need for what I'm trying to do for this sim. And you know, with 2024 in my hand, you know, I think the 4090 will take care of 2024 as well. Now, I was doing some so when I did my driver updates the other day, and you know, I always go with Island Sim Pilot because he's always walking you all the way through the steps and things like that. And I noticed there in the NVIDIA profile manager, I think that's how you call it. So when you go down into the setting, into number 5 in the commons, where you actually do all the changing of the settings and stuff, I seen something that talked about you can change the performance of how in the NVIDIA graphics card handles monitors. And there's a setting there. There's a setting where you can do either, you know, a one monitor performance, or you can do a multi-monitor performance. Now, I haven't messed with it yet, but I think I'm gonna go in and dig in that a little bit and see if that makes a difference. Because if that makes a difference, then I might not even need an upgrade. But I will probably still upgrade anyway, just because I like the headroom, man. I mean the CPU, man, it's relaxing. The 4080 is just like, it's a workhorse. I haven't seen my CPU get above like 30%, not ever. So that's why I feel like if I got a 4090, I can actually start using the I'm coming in way fast. I don't have nothing working right now. I'm just out here flying blind. But it's okay, because this video was really just about, you know,
I need to get my
Terrain
hands
ahead.
on the
Pull
390.
up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Like I said, I know where to get
Pull
one,
up.
and I can trade my
Terrain
4080
ahead.
Super in for
Pull
one
up.
and just pay the difference.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead.
Oh, hush.
Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead.
You better
pull
butter
up.
this land.
Terrain
Yeah, let's see if I can butter
Pull
this
up.
thing without
Terrain
no
ahead.
air,
Pull
no
up.
indication, nothing. This is just
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
I'm
Terrain
flying this
ahead.
thing by
Pull
sound.
up.
All right,
Terrain ahead.
here's down, flaps
Pull
down.
up. Terrain ahead.
Raw dog
Pull
it in.
up.
Pretty much.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Oh my gosh, hush.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Let's see.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Butter.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Oh, that
Terrain
was
ahead.
silky.
Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
I know my plane now.
Terrain ahead.
I know my baby.
Pull up.
All right, you
Terrain
can you
ahead.
please hush? Jesus. Gonna terrain me to death. I tried it yesterday, went bad for me, but you might get better performance. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. And see if that does anything for me. Oh man. You know what, I ain't even looked at stocks. It's been a while since I even looked at it. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think if, like I said, if all else fails, then I'll just get a 4090. And I mean, I could get a 4090 this year, and I can rock it out for the rest of the year. And then, you know, if I feel like the 4090 is still not within the realm of performance that I want, which I think it will, then hey, I think 5090 will be the next step up, but that'll be like next year sometime. It's definitely not gonna happen this year. I just can't see, not right now. I just can't see what, 25. And then it's crazy too, man. Like, you know, people go and they buy these cars and then they inflate the mess out of them. Then they try to sell them. Oh, well, this is brand new. Yeah, but that's not even retail brand new. Like, where are you getting your numbers from? Ain't nobody that crazy. All right, Glenn, I'll check that out once I'm done with this flight here. So moving on and continuing on the sim. So what's to come? Power supply to get all the gauges able to work. So I have a yaw damper switch, which it should be on. I must have knocked the wire loose back there because this panel is temp installed. I'm gonna have to climb up, looks like, or you can let me run, skim them out here. I'll just play around with it. So I have a yaw damper button here. Let me get y'all to the front screen here. I created a yaw damper switch. You can't see it because my glare shield is sagging, so I gotta fix that. And I also have a an annunciator panel as well. But when I press, it's a micro switch, and when I press the button, it actually lights up. But not only does it lights up, it actually turns on yaw damper. This plane actually has yaw damper. When I was doing some tests and settings, and I noticed, I'm like, wait a minute, there's a yaw damper switch, and I turned it on, and sure enough, I'm like, oh. So I got that printed out, and that works. It's just not working right this second. And as far as my annunciator panel, if you're not in the Discord, go into the Discord. I posted some pictures of these nano LED lights that I purchased. Man, these things are like nano. Like, these things are little, like, I'm talking like pencil lead size LEDs, and they are super bright. So after doing some digging, I'm like, well, let me not install them just yet, because they're pre-wired to the LED light, but they don't have any resistors on them. So I'm gonna have to order me a bag of resistors and get them wired up. But they do work, and I put them up against my panel here. Let me take it out. I don't know if did I show you got, let me see. So here's my, let me get these lights right here. So here's my my annunciator panel. Let me see if I get this right for y'all so y'all can see it. So I found this digging through Yegi. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'll get a little closer. My bad, y'all. My camera trying to hold this thing and showing y'all. There you go. All right, that'll work. All right, so what I'm going to do is on the back side, you can see there's slots for each individual, you know, thing on the annunciator panel. and I'm gonna run the nano lights into each individual hole, and then I'm going to then program them so that my annunciator panel works. So that is also in the near future once I get those resistors. Yeah, I got a 8-knot crosswind right now, coming out of the south, so about 180. But this plane doesn't have rudder trim, I don't think. I only have pitch trim. Now you got me thinking. Nope. It doesn't have rudder trim. I haven't seen rudder trim. So that'll be the update for the panel. I'm waiting to get all this done so I can put my phone holder back in its respective place. What else? This prop wash autopilot, I'm about to throw this thing away because I'm sick of it. So anybody that has ever dealt with this panel from prop wash simulation understands that agonizing pain. I'm gonna have to get up over these mountains, and I don't know what my thingy is because I don't have no panel working. So I'm gonna come over here where it is not as high, so I can cross over the mountains here. So while I've been back here messing around with wires and stuff, there they go again. I knocked the power wire off the back of the panel, and anybody that knows this thing it's a horrific event with this panel. It's something that I know they had to know they're aware of, and they've done nothing to it. So I don't even know if I even want to deal with trying to put that thing back together. So it's either I'm going to purchase me a better autopilot panel, or I'm just going to make my own 3D. I'm a 3D print my own autopilot panel and be done with it. Because I'm sick of dealing with that. That's why it's not on right now, and I'm hand flying the thing because I don't have no autopilot. So that is also to come. Like I said, once I get the other gauges installed, the autopilot is going to come down here out of the way because this is all going to be filled with more gauges. And then once that is complete, I will then be moving into phase 2, or I'll say phase 3 of upgrades, and that is turning this yoke, this alpha yoke, into a bonanza style throw over yoke system. I've already got my drawings up and running, and if my calculations are correct, in theory it will work. I've done a prototype before for a proof of concept, so this one's going to be a lot better. And what I'm going to do for prototype, it'll be prototype 2.0, where I will be installing stepper motors to drive the pitch and roll function when in autopilot mode. So when I turn on autopilot, the yoke will take over and it will turn left and right and, you know, pitch up and pitch down with the autopilot. Once I ride that wave for a little while and everything is working good, everything is smoothed out, and I like how it functions, I will then remove the stepper motors and I will then be going to servo motors, where it will then turn into a force feedback system. So that will be the next project after my gauge change over to all 3D printed physical gauges. And then once that is done, I don't know. I think that's about it. There really won't be nothing else for me to do at that point. I think the sim will be pretty much be where it needs to be, other than upgrading the GPU, and we'll be in business. And also with the yoke, so if y'all know how the bonanza style yoke, you know, it's got the bar, you know, it's a shaft that goes in the middle of the panel. It will be a full functioning throw over yoke as well. So wish me luck on that one. We'll see how that turns out. I think it'll turn out good though, if my calculations are correct. Oh, there is another project that I want to work on.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be cool, man. I think I know it's gonna work. I'll probably have to tweak some stuff as the time go on, you know, as I'm building it, but in my mind and on my paper, it's going to work. I just have to take my time and put it together the way I want to. What I'm actually thinking about doing, honestly, is because once I snatch this yoke out, I'm gonna be down again, and I don't want to do that. So what I'm thinking about doing is finding me another alpha yoke, buying that one and using that one to build the new yoke while I'm still flying with this one in the sim. So I might just end up doing it that way. So I don't want to keep having weeks and weeks go by and not flying. It would drive me crazy. I was trying to get us to fly last week, man, but things just wasn't working out the way I wanted it to.
It be like that.
Yeah, it be like that sometimes. So another project, which is actually a very, very small project that I'm going to do. I don't know. There's two ways I can go about it, right? One way is, if I remember correctly, I found a 3D printed version of somebody actually created the veneer style TPMs. So I'm either thinking about 3D printing me some, or maybe invest a little bit and actually go on eBay and purchase the real veneer TPM throttles, or the TPM setup, and then just hooking them to some the sliding potentiometers that I have, so that I can really like dial in, you know, really get it dialed in correctly. No, Glenn, the whole panel has failed. So I'm having it's a power issue. So what's happening is even though all the stepper motors and everything is all 5 volts, it's still a lot of power and information for an Arduino to try to push through. So what's happening is the Arduino's getting hot and it can't handle all the information and trying to power all of that at the same time, and it just keeps cutting off. And so and then I have to keep going back into mobiflight and turn it on. Did you see the lights turned on? Cause I could do it. It'd take me but a second. But let me get high though. Is my trim right? Cause too much trim. See, I don't know. Cause this is what turns me into a nosedive. So I'm gonna turn this on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Get that crank back up. You. Hello. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta go through here. Oh, it didn't run. Okay. Okay, there we go. So what's happening is, like I said, it's too much power, or it's too much going on, and so the Arduino gets hot and it shuts off, which then causes mobiflight to stop working because it's I don't know, it's like a fail safe, or I don't know why mobiflight just shuts completely off, but anytime, like it just did it again. So every time that happens, mobiflight disconnects, and so I lose everything that's on that Arduino board, which is the lights and the gauges. So that's what I am working on ordering tonight once I'm done streaming. I'm gonna order me a 5-volt power supply, and then that should solve that problem there. But it works. Like I said, it works. It's actually a beautiful, and it's even more amazing at nighttime, man. It's definitely an awesome setup, and I'm happy with the outcome. I just gotta fix the little bugs now. So those are all the projects that are in the lineup for Cardboard Sim. Like I said, I do have to readjust my glare shield because she's sagging, so y'all can see and I can see, because I can even barely see my annunciator panel there. But yeah, outside of that, oh man. Well, so I mean, it's just 5 volts, but I think it's just still there's a lot of load on the Arduino to handle, you know. Even though it says it can run as up to, I don't know, 40 something motors, it's not going to do it. It's too much. Well, I think it just depends on the application that is running. I think for Flight Sim, it's too much because it's trying to send information to all of these gauges while maintaining a steady 5 volts. And right now this panel alone has 9. I'm running, let's see, 2. I have 9 stepper motors just on these 7 gauges, plus 3 9G servos, plus the backlighting. Like, so it's a lot. Now, as far as the servo motors, when it comes to the yoke, yeah, that's gonna be on its own supply. Like, even the backlighting is all ran off of 12 volts. So that has they're running off their own power supply. Now, they're only hooked up to the Arduino so that I can control the lighting through mobiflight. So it's just a pinout. Let me slow her down because I'm still nose heavy. Oh. Alright, turn back on. Did you custom code it or is it off the shelf stuff? As far as what the lighting? Or are you talking as far as the gauges? Or are you talking all of it? Because as far as the gauges go, the gauges are pretty much okay. So as far as the gauges are coded. Well, they're not coded. They're presets within mobiflight. Now you do have to do a little bit of changing of like you're gonna have to add some interpolations. You're gonna have to do some adjustments with you know, what the sim value versus what the stepper motor values are and the speeds and all that stuff. But for the most part, it's plug and play. So like we'll take the airspeed indicator for instance, right? So once you get the stepper motor hooked into your Arduino, let's say, so the stepper motor runs off of 4 different pins, right? So So you got 2 for one side of the motor, 2 for the other. So let's say you put all 4 pins on 11, 12, 13, 14. You go into mobiflight and you set that all up, and then you set it up as an output config, of course, because you want the gauge to do a readout of what the sim is pushing. And then from there you go into the Dropbox of Microsoft 2020 and you pull up the airspeed indicator preset. Once you lock that in, now what's happening is the sim is telling that gauge to move according to what the sim is reading out. Now before you do that, you have to go in and you have to set your 0 first. So find your 0, set it to 0, and then you want to add interpolations to your to that setup, because if not, what's going to happen is your gauge is going to be doing this weird jumpy situation. So as the sim is turning its numbers as you go faster, well, the encoder understands that it needs to move, but it doesn't know what 60 knots is. Like, it doesn't know where that's at, you know. So what you do is you add an interpolation and you say, okay, like, gauges likes to be read by degrees, right? So if I'm looking at, let's say, 85 knots on my gauge, and this will be different for each gauge. It just depends on what kind of gauge you have, or, you know, because everybody have different, you know, gauge readouts. So at 90 degrees is about 85 knots. So what I would do is I would put in, you know, 90 degrees maps to 85 knots, right? So now the sim knows, or the gauge knows, that when I get to 85 knots, it needs to be at 90 degrees. And then you just slowly make your adjustments, you know, through all of your speeds. Now I've only done it, I've done it all the way to 200 because that's my max, but I got smaller ones between 0 to like 100, and then after 100 I just do it by like 10 knots a piece. And then that's how you do it. And then, you know, you follow suit with all the other gauges. So vertical speed, same thing. 0 on my vertical speed is 270 degrees. So 270 maps to 0. And that's how you do it. So that's how the gauges pretty much work. It's pretty straightforward when it comes to that. But then it also depends on what type of gauge you print out. Like, for instance, Captain Bob's, I cut that corner a little too early. That's fine though. Captain Bob's, his altimeter gauge is built different than the gauge that I'm running. So you have to take that in consideration as well. So his altimeter, he's running like 3 different, I think he's running like 3 X27 steppers or 3 servo motors or something like that. Well, mine is running off of 2 servos. Not 2 servos, 2 steppers. 1 stepper motor turns the altimeter to, you know, whatever it is, and then the other stepper motor actually turns the needles. Now, the person who created this is a genius, because he geared it so that the 100,000 and 10,000 needles sync, right? So if I zero out all my needles, right, and then I turn on mobiflight, let's say I'm at 2,000 feet. So once I turn it on, the gauge will automatically rotate to 2,000 feet. And then as I'm climbing, all the gauges, or all the needles, are actually like locking in. So by the time I get to 10,000, it'll actually be 10,000. Like my 10,000 needle will actually be at 10,000. Like, so it's pretty cool. So like I said, those are some of the things that you have to pay attention to when you're building these things. Each gauge is different. It's how you build it, or you know what gauge you're using, as well as what stepper motors or servos. Like a X27. I don't even think do they even sell X27 stepper motors anymore? I don't even think they do. They might. But you know, the 48 BYJs or whatever, those are the more common ones now. So yeah, it's not custom coding for the gauges.
Hey,
now when it comes to
I'm gonna hop into another part of Empire's stream to show some love.
yeah, man, I appreciate you stopping in, man. Enjoy yourself. Have a safe sim flight.
You too.
Alright, will do. So when it comes, like I said, when it comes to the gauges, configuring the gauges is actually easier than putting these things together. These things could be a pain. There was one part on the attitude gauge, it took me 3 times to print, and it takes about 3.5 hours to print it, right? But I finally got it to work, and it's still a little quirky. Like one side wants to sag, or like it's something. So I'm gonna have to take this back out to see what's going on with it. It works. I actually got to see it move up and down, and it turns left and right. So it works, but it seems like one side is binding or something weird. So, but yeah. So it's all presets for the most part, and then it's just a little bit of, if you want to call it coding, you know, there's a little bit of extra coding in the background to really dial them in. Now as far as the dimmer lights, the whole light switch and setting goes, that is a special code. It's a special code, and it's ran off a special board. I'm almost tempted. I don't know yet. I'm almost tempted to build a handful of them and put it in my store once I reach monetization status, for those who would like to indulge in. Like, if you don't know how to even attempt to create this board, you know, I would just sell them. I don't know. It's an idea. I'm thinking about it. So yeah, that's about it, y'all. I mean, I think I covered everything as far as updates go. So it works. It's just quirky right now, but like I said, I think it's just more of a power issue than anything. But that'll be resolved this week once I get that power supply in. Yeah, and I'll probably go ahead and start making my new prints for the next phase 2 of the gauge swap. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So I think that was perfect timing, because we're bringing it right back to where we took off. So if y'all have any more questions, let me know. I'm here, so feel free to go ahead and ask all the questions. I know I can be long-winded at times, but that's, like I said, that's in a nutshell, that's the gist of it. So let's go ahead and turn that light off. Another blind landing. Let's see if I can grease this one like I did the first one. Ah, Cess. Let me see. Well, let me see if I can get this thing turned back on real quick before I land. I know. Alright, Cess. Okay, I'll say this. I will get a 5090, but I'm gonna get a 4090 first. How about that? I'm a baby step myself into getting the 5090. You know what? I'm gonna do a night landing. Hopefully it'll stay on long enough. All right. So, as long as you agree to that, then we are in business. I can do that. I'll step my way up. I'll get a 5090, but I gotta get a 4090 first. All right. I can't even say speed checks gear down because I don't know how fast I'm going. All right, so gear is down. First notch of flaps is in. And we'll nope, she just cut off on me. Ugh. Don't do it to me. I'm trying to give my people something to look at. All right, there we go. Come on, we're right here at it. Stop playing with me. Ah. Thanks for waking up my brain there, Glenn. I'm good. I got it now. All right, so there is the runway. And she cut out on me again. Ah. This is got to be annoying. Gotta keep doing this just to try to have some lighting in here. All right, we're gonna do a very, very short approach. See if I can get it in before she cut out on me again. All right, so gear is down, flaps are full down. We're coming in on a crazy emergency approach. I'll say that. Let's see if we can butter this thing with the issues at hand. All right, lights are on. Yep, all that good stuff is on. All right, cool. All right, 89, 90 knots. All right, not too bad, not too bad.
500.
Not too bad. Let's see if we can get it. Come on, mama, just stay in there long enough. Give y'all a little bit of light there. 85. Slow her down just a little bit. A little slow. A little slow, a little low. Alright, there we go. There we go. We got her back under control there. Crosswind. She's pushing. She's pushing. Oh. Ooh, slap the nose down a little too much. Well, we're down. All right, let's go and get off this. I don't even know where I'm parking. I'm gonna park over here, I guess. They do teach you to land without any lights in the cockpit for night. Oh, for real? That's pretty cool. So I guess you could say it's just simulating that. You need a red light head torch. All right, flaps coming up, landing lights coming out. Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. No lights. I got you. Okay, makes sense now. Flashlight, red light, or torch. I get you. It took me a second. I was like, torch? What do you mean torch? Okay, I get what you're saying. A little, you know, I have one. Now that you mention it, probably need some batteries. I haven't used it in forever. What we got out here? Come park next to this guy here. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, we'll come over here. Park next to this bonanza. I think that's a bonanza. Might be a moon. Let's see here. I need to get me a flight bag. That's what I need to do. I need a flight bag so that I could come in and have all my stuff, my emergency bag, and you know, all that good stuff. All right, so that's it, y'all. Recommend something by the brand Lightspeed. You can get them, use it for flight training. All right, I'll look those up for sure. Yeah. All right, let's shut her down. So lights are coming off. Avionics is off, even though it doesn't go off. We'll go ahead and pull mixture on out. Appreciate it, says. Have a good one, my man. And we'll go ahead and turn these lights off. Power is coming down. Magnetos is off. Fuel is off. And there we go, y'all. That is it. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream. It wasn't as beautiful as I would have liked it to be, but like I said, it's been long overdue since I've streamed, because I've been working on this thing for way too long, and I just wanted to get back in the air and give you guys, you know, a more live version update than to just, you know, let y'all know what's going on in the Discord. So proof of concept is there. The gauges do work. It just needs clean power. It's just not getting enough from the Arduino. As you can see, the backlights do work. 2 different sets of backlights, 2 different encoders that are controlling those, and yeah, we're gonna keep on pressing. So tomorrow night though, my goal is to stream a sneak peek 2024 flight. If all goes well, I'll be linking up with my good buddy Cass. We haven't flown together since last year. It's been a while, and he is the bush trip man himself, and so we've been talking about linking up in 2024 for the longest time, and I just haven't been able to fly because Air Manager app doesn't work with 2024. Notice that I said Air Manager app. The Air Manager, I gotta, because I had so many people ask me and talk to me. No, the Air Manager does work. Air Manager desktop does work for 2024. The Air Manager app that you buy through Apple or your iPads and things of that nature is not compatible with 2024. They say that they are going to be working on it once they are done with the desktop version. God knows how long that's going to be. So I'm impatient. I bought 2024 when it first came out, and I haven't really been able to fly because I didn't have anything to work. That's why I 3D printed my gauges, so I'll have a system and a setup that can accommodate 2020 and 2024. So with that being said, tomorrow will be a 2024 flight. I don't know exactly where I'm flying or what we're going to be doing, but hopefully all goes well and we'll be linking up. So stay tuned to tomorrow's flight. That'll be, I guess you can say, the maiden flight in a sense. I mean, I've tinkered in 2024, but I haven't done a full flight in 24 yet. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see what the sim looks like and how it performs with what I got going on now. So oh no I'm not leaving 2020, bunny. 2020 will forever be in my heart, and I'm still gonna be flying 2020, but I gotta get me some 2024 action going. So that's the plan for tomorrow, and we're just gonna take it from there. So bear with me as I'm still, it's still a work in progress with the gauges and getting everything to work and all that. But it's gonna be a sight to see when it's all said and done. As you can see, that's just amazing right there, man. That's just a beautiful sight. So that is what's going on, and we're gonna rock it out from there. So if anyone else has anything, compliments, gripes, concerns, go ahead and speak now or forever hold your peace, because if not, we'll go ahead and wrap this stream up for the night. Going once, going twice. AMD all the way. Have a good one. Sounds like a plan there, Glenn. Y'all have a good night. This is Cardboard Sim. He's signing out.